For me, Box Hill means a place where I can get away from it all. I know every part of Box Hill, and I know that every part has a different atmosphere and a different flavour.
It's a special place, and it's a special place in your own way. It's as busy or as isolated as you want it to be. It's really all about you when you come here. When you ask visitors what they like about Box Hill, everyone's got their own stories to tell, everyone's got their own favourite parts, and it belongs to all of them.
Well, people come to Box Hill for all sorts of different reasons. One is the views, one is just family picnics, one is because their family has been come here for years. I mean, it's a great place for people to come out from South London, particularly in the old days when people didn't travel very far. Box Hill seemed like quite an exotic place, really. Well, it had been a popular place for possibly 300 years before this. When the Hope Estate was being sold off in 1913, a lot of people became alarmed that suddenly Box Hill would be covered with houses. And so Leopold Salomons, who lived in Norbury Park, he was approached by the people who were involved in the National Trust, and he was persuaded to use some of his money to buy the estate.
Leopold Salomons, I guess you could call him your first NIMBY. He didn't really want Box Hill to be developed on, so that's why he bought it and gave it to the National Trust. So it was really to kind of safeguard this environment for future generations to enjoy.
He was an inspired man to do this, really, because if it hadn't been for him, we could be seeing housing on these slopes very easily today. So, you know, the threat of development was averted by his inspired action, actually.
Today we have the impression that everybody whizzes about all over the world all the time, but in those days they didn't even go outside London. And if you look at the illustration from the graphic, Box Hill is depicted as this great mountain south of London, where London in the distance is a relatively small town, and people come out to this place and you have these amazing views. You climb up a hill. So it was accessible, it was attractive, there was facilities for having tea, picnics and all that sort of thing, and so it was the place to come.
Well, Box Hill's really special to me because I had a fabulous picture that was handed down to me by my grandparents of my great aunt's 21st on the top of Box Hill. And it's an enormous sort of Victorian picture of everybody sitting in their best bib and tucker at these trestle tables. So in 1995, which was nearly 100 years after this photo, I recreated it. And so we all bought some food. I managed to get probably about 35 family members together who came from all over England, really, a lot of them from the south, my cousins from Wales. And basically it was the next 3 generations on from the family photo.
They had to dress up to come to Box Hill, and you get these extraordinary pictures of quite ordinary people, of course, all wearing hats and wearing quite elaborate dress, and they walked up the main slope. And in those days, the main slope of Box Hill, the Burford Spur, you could see the erosion because people all walked up from it, either from the railway station or from a charabanc arriving at the Burford Bridge.
The fact that I think it'll be my granddaughter that will have to organise the next 3 generations to do the next photo up here in about 81 years' time.
Well, the first patch of land was only 235 acres, and then after the First World War in the 1920s, there were public appeals, there were people giving big sums of money. All these bits of land, first of all, became places of public recreation, but then, much later, they became places of nature conservation.
It's so incredibly diverse. I mean, you get 40 different wildflower species in just 1 metre squared. And of course that supports a range of butterflies and other winged insects and lots of bees. So it's that incredible diversity which I find so fascinating. It's similar to a coral reef system or a tropical rainforest. If you just take the time to look down at the ground and see what's underneath them and just see how different the different plants are. So my favourite places are the viewpoints. For a lot of people, they won't get to see views like that on a regular basis, so coming up here is very special for them.
The viewpoint was erected in 1920. It was delayed, obviously, by the First World War, and then it was erected with the money given by Leopold Salomond's wife.
You can look down at Dorking and see people going around their daily business, or you can look out over to the rest of the Surrey Hills. You can see Gatwick, you can see Heathrow. It's incredible to really see the landscape unfold before your eyes. There are areas like the Donkey Green where you can sit and have a picnic with your family, and then you can go around the natural play trail, which is absolutely fantastic for little kids, and they get a little bit dirty, but it's really good for them to get to grips with nature and being outdoors and actually being themselves.
I got muddy!
You got really muddy!
Oh, Box Hill's wonderful for exploration. You know, there's so many secret places. You can go down by the river, have fun on the River Mole, walk across the stepping stones, challenge yourself to run up the slopes, roll down them again, go into the woods, find some secret dens, smell the herbs, just lie down on a summer's day and smell the marjoram wafting all around you. Lie on your back and watch the clouds on top of the chalk grassland. It's a great place for sensations, actually. Great sensory experience to come to Box Hill.
So if I were to sum up Box Hill in one word, for me it would be happy memories.
What I really enjoy about Box Hill is the incredible diversity. No 2 days are the same, no 2 views are the same. You can come here 2 days in a row and have completely different experiences here and different memories.
Well, I've never met a child who didn't enjoy Box Hill. And I've got some photographs of my children enjoying Box Hill and my grandchildren, even if it's the most basic things of playing games on Donkey Green.
The National Trust is part of a movement to try and get people out, off the couch and out into the landscape. And it's lovely to see a wild place in a really good state, so close. I mean, we're only 20 miles from London, which is almost like the country's secret, really.